Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Brian Cranston, indie developer extraordinaire, and I am returning to you for one video only because a terrible secret has been revealed to me. Now, you may have seen other indie game, No Man's Sky, that recently came out over the past 2 weeks. People are excited, people are enjoying it, but it is all a lie. I have been on Reddit/r/No Man's Sky, and I have found this document. This document that proves everything Hello Games did was one big fat lie, and I'm going to read it to you now. So, it's been a week, and it seems like people are realizing that there's a bunch of stuff we were told would be in the game, but isn't. There have been posts and comments here and there talking about it and giving examples. A few days ago, I decided to dive into the information repository myself, collect as much as I could manage, and put it all in one place. This is mostly a response to the prevailing notion that we hyped ourselves into believing something that wasn't true from the get-go. Some definitely have. And we all know the reputation this game's community has gotten. But really, many of us were just going on what we had been told. And we had been told a lot of things that didn't end up being true. I broke everything down into categories because each missing feature, this is bad grammar, because each missing feature, there's links to the YouTube video it's talked about shown in, and all links are to the relevant time in the video. Bolded links lead to information from just 4 months ago. Besides that, I've pulled a relevant quote that sums up the subject, and when none was available, usually because it's from a damn trailer, I've added a short comment. Beneath the categories is extra info and a comment trying to put things into context of the game we have. There is more than all this, I know, but this is what I could find. All information linked is either from the horse's mouth, the horse's mouth, or official marketing material. Then there's a lot of nonsense that we're going to miss, but we go to the list. The big mama issues simplified are the loss of planetary physics, which was said to govern many different systems, seemingly in a cascading effect from the top down. The retooling of ships to make them all functionally identical rather than having different classes for different playstyles, essentially homogenizing ship play into a simple playstyle. The reworking of factions from something with broader significance into the very simplistic system we have now. Resource distribution following none of the roles that were spoken of. Instead, resource variety is more shallow than we've been led to believe. So, distribution was seemingly regardless of planet-based factors. This also had a knock-on effects for trading. Now, look at this graph. Look at it, because number one, landing on asteroids. Somebody said, yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids. Number two, destroying space stations and fleets. Comment, maybe you take out a space station or a fleet, or something like that. Number three, giant fleets of ships. These are examples, there are examples that doesn't make sense. There ended up being no landing on asteroids. Why would you want to land on an asteroid? It doesn't make sense. There's no way to destroy freighters or space station, and fleets in the game are comprised of maybe 3 or so ships. Freighters also do not move at all, despite their engines being on. What the fuck are you doing, Hello Games? If a freighter's engine is on, it has to move. What do you think this is? Do you not understand how important video games are? You should be ashamed. Here we see another graph, right? Actual ship classes and differentiation. Relevant quote comment. Hard to pull a quote here that represents the full breadth of this one. But number two, naming ships. Comment. Ships are actually a discovery just like everything else, and you can name your discoveries. Number three, more natural flight characteristics. Comment, ship flying more like a ship than in the actual game. The main comment, you cannot scan or name ships, and despite there being footage of somewhat complex flight in the game is relegated to almost autopilot in atmospheres and sluggish flying through pudding in space. pudding in space! What do you think the fucking last few years of technology have been for, Hello Games? So you could come up with some fucking pudding and put it in fucking space. Yet another graph. Number 1, rivers. Comment. Link 4 contains gameplay with a river, and in the thread there is a link. Number 2, large structures. Larger structures that are currently in the game are shown in the trailer is what he means. Crashed freighters. A freighter crashed on the surface of a planet surrounded by sentinels. Number 4, structures with moving parts. Some portals seem to have had the same spinning metal as the space anomaly ship. Number 5, portals. The structures have been found but not activated. Comments. Rivers can be seen in at least one video, and they were talked about a lot. They are barely even any lakes in the game, and the ones I found were pretty small. Overall, most planets have 0 water on them, even though they have obvious precipitation. Obvious precipitation, which means there is water there. But Hello Games, you could not be fucked. You could not be fucked to get off your ass and develop them, could you? The big one here is that the portals we have found are dead, and we don't know if they can be activated. But ask yourself, if every planet has most of the elements you need, and finding the ones any planet doesn't have here this is gibberish. We move on. Considering how much is missing from the game, we have every reason to question whether or not any of the complex systems we were told would be in the game are actually there. Do the planets get any more exotic as you move to the center at all? Are those significant player-made disruptions to the game world actually being saved globally? Is there anything beside names being saved globally at all if there are no fleets to destroy? And you can't destroy space stations. Do any of the things they talked about that govern things on a large scale exist? I feel utterly bamboozled now, possibly even hoodwinked. Hoodwinked! It's one thing for footage from 4 months ago to be unrepresentative. Development is a process and things change. But a month old, when obviously the game had been significantly altered by then, to continue to use misleading footage in the commercials, knowing the game had changed drastically. That's being intentionally misleading. It makes you wonder, if they're using footage they know to be misleading now, did they know it was misleading 4 months ago than when they were making a big press push using that same build? As corny, as melodramatic as it was last week, I think it's fair to wonder if we've been legitimately lied to at this point. If nothing more, we deserve some answers. No more vague nonsense, but real answers. I am with them, Brian Krantz. We are coming for you, Hello Games. Do not worry that there's more important things in the world and this is a toy. I have read the 25 pages that are on Reddit and we are coming for you. You batten down the hatches because we will beat the shit out of you for making a game that you tried really hard on but couldn't make all of the things work. It's not good enough. You didn't think about me and you didn't think about the millions of people that have got entertainment from your game. I am gone. You are screwed. Krantz out.